Welcome everyone. Here's an Edexcel IGCSE 2021 June. This is paper 2, Investigating Large Business. If you follow the paper series so far, in the paper number 1, Investigating Small Business, there are 4 different papers are there which covers the entire question paper. So like that, this is a large business paper which covers the entire section B, the large business paper 2, Investigating Large Business. If you see the paper structure is the same. There are 4 main questions which carries 20 mark each, and paper is 1.5 hour paper, and the paper have 4 questions, and then you can see the paper has usual formula sheet is given: gross profit margin, operating profit margin, markup, return on capital employed, the liquidity ratios are the current ratios, and the asset test ratio. In the question, let's go to the case study first of all, the large business case study. There's only one case study which covers the entire paper, large business. Next is a well-known clothing retailer that operates in 70 countries and employ over 43,000 employees. So you can see the number of employees, 43,000. The large business means if the workers are more than 250, we call it's a large business. So here it's a multinational company, operates 70 countries and employs over 43,000 employees. Since Next commenced trading, it has introduced many other products to its range, such as home interiors, flowers, and wedding list service. Right? Not only clothing retailer, there are some other market segments also they are launching, such as home interior, flowers, wedding list services, etc. In 1999, Next launched its own online shopping platform, enabling customers to purchase its products wherever they live. It continues to improve its customer service by introducing new initiatives such as next day delivery. Next mainly uses its own factories for production. However, it does purchase some clothes such as ladies' dress from Turkish factories. You can see this case study is a large business, right? They are employing 43,000 employees in 70 different countries, and they are selling clothes, home interior, flowers, and wedding list services. And from 1999, they launched their online shopping platform. So they was actually from the beginning, they actually was stated, their beginning was they converted their business into the new e-commerce platforms, was launched and enabling customers to purchase products where they will live. So I think this is they're following the market trends. So it's a very good business strategy. And it continued to improve its customer service by introducing new initiatives such as the next day delivery. It's a really good service. Next mainly uses its own factories for production. However, it does purchase some clothes such as ladies' dresses from Turkish factories. Okay, here we go to the MCQ questions. There are 6 MCQs in this paper, right? The 2021 June paper. Which of the following sectors would retail outlet operate in? Which of the following sectors would a retail outlet operate in? A, primary sector. B, secondary sector. C, tertiary sector. D, quaternary sector. So it's a retail outlet, therefore they're providing a service. Therefore, definitely they're operating under C, tertiary. C, the tertiary sector. The second MCQ question, question number 1, B. The second MCQ question: which one of the following would be used to select a group of applicants for interview? Which one of the following would be used to select a group of applicants for interview? Select one answer. A, training. B, shortlisting. C, marketing. D, advertising. It's a pretty easy question. When you're selecting a group of applicants for interview, we are using a process, the B, shortlisting. So the correct answer is B, shortlisting. Because the recruitment we are using when you have after advertising a job, so a lot of potential candidates can apply, But if you want to select a group of candidates out of that potential candidates, let's say 1,000 candidates apply, but if you want to interview only 10 best people, then you can do some process called shortlisting process. Shortlisting. Right. So let's move on to the marking scheme and see what are the reasons for this mention. So MCQ1, so number one answer is C, the tertiary sector, because A is not a correct answer. Like primary is extracting raw materials. B is not a correct answer because secondary is manufacturing of goods. Quaternary is not a section in retail under this word. The second question, shortlisting, is a correct answer. B. A is not a correct answer because training as it's carried out once the applicant has obtained the job. So training carried out after taking the job. And C also wrong answer because C is not a correct because marketing is not involved in interview. And D is not a correct answer because advertising is not involved in the analysis. Part section question number 1, part B answer is shortlisting. Shortlisting. The third MCQ question. Next, purchase 5,000 dresses from Turkish manufacturer at 101.10 new Turkish lira, TRY, per dress. So per dress, they had to cost 101.10 Turkish lira, and they are purchasing 5,000 dresses. So the question is, the exchange rate is 1 British pound equals 6.74 Turkish lira. 1 British pound equals 6.74 Turkish lira, that is the exchange rate. Which one of the following would next pay in GBP, right, to Turkish manufacturer for 5,000 dresses? So when you're trying this question, first of all, you have to find out what is the total cost for these dresses in the local currency. So you have to multiply 5,000 by 101.10. Then answer coming 505,500 Turkish lira. Then using foreign exchange rate, you can convert into the British pounds by dividing it by 6.74. So 505,500 divided by 6.74, the answer is coming 75,000 GBP. 75,000. So answer is D. The answer is D. So I'll again show you the marking scheme answer, the working for that answer. Here we go. If you want to buy 5,000 clothes at 1.10, so the value is, you can see, multiply by 5,000 multiplied by 1.1, so it's multiplying like that value. The answer coming, this answer, and then answer is correct answer is D, because D we calculated like that. 75,000 the correct answer. 75,000 came. This 5,000 multiplied by 101.1 divided by 6.74. The A is not a correct answer, B is not a correct answer, and C is not a correct answer. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. 75,000. 75,000. How we calculate again? 6.101.10 multiplied by 5,000. Total Turkish lira value is 505,500. That's divided by 6.74. The answer is 75,000. Okay. The fourth MCQ of this paper, the large business, we are doing IGCSE business 2021 June, large business paper. The fourth MCQ question, which one of the following describe Kaizen? Which one of the following describes Kaizen? Select one answer. Kaizen is the Japanese concept for continuous improvement. So answer itself, you can see clearly the answer we can find out. D is the correct answer, continuous improvement. Under lean manufacturing, under lean production, we talk about different concepts like just in time, Kaizen, 5S. So Kaizen is the meaning the continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. So skill manufacturing, just in time, market oriented are wrong answers. So our correct answer is D, continuous improvement. Okay. The next question is another calculation question in MCQ, fifth MCQ. Figure 1 shows the number of online customers using Next in 2017 to 2018. So online customer, there you can see there's a improvement 4.7 million to 4.9 million. They're asking what is the percentage increase to 2 decimal places of online customers from 2017 to 2018. If you have this kind of a question, always you have to memorize that formula. Final minus initial divided by initial into 100. Final value minus initial value divided by the initial value into 100. Therefore, if you substitute the answer, if you substitute the numbers into that formula, you can see final answer 4.9 minus 4.7, right? That is 0.2. That is divided by original answer 4.7 million. Final minus initial divided by initial into 100. So multiply by 100. The answer coming 4.255. 4.255. So if you reduce this to the answer for 2 decimal points, the answer is 4.26. 4.26. We can clearly see the answer in part C. So C is the correct answer. Answer is 4.26. Right? That's 4.255. If you round off to the 2 decimal points, 4.26. Correct answer. So I'll again repeat how we can calculate that answer. Final value minus initial value over initial value into 100. So 4.9 minus 4.7 divide by 4.7 into 100. Use your calculator, then you can get the answer 4.26. Right? So that's the 5th MCQ question in the second paper. We are going to the last MCQ question of the first question. Which one of the following is a benefit of buying a franchise? Which one of the following is a benefit of buying a franchise? Select one answer. A, the franchisor provides training to the franchisee. That's kind of a benefit for franchisee. Second one, a franchisee pays a lower rate of value-added tax. That's little, it's actually a wrong answer because you can't get a kind of a tax benefit like that, paying low rate of value-added tax. Part C, a franchisor pays the franchisee to set up in business. This should be other way around. There's a wrong statement then. Why? Franchisor never pay. Franchisee always pay to the franchisor to set up the business. Right? This is a wrong statement. D, a franchisee makes all his or her own decisions. Again, wrong statement. Why? Franchisee can't make the decisions because it's always get the permission from the, have to allow it from the franchisor. Franchisor takes the decisions and franchisee has to follow. So as a result, you know, franchisee makes his decision is a wrong answer. So correct answer is only A is the correct answer. Franchisor provides training to the franchisee. That is okay. Training, employee training, right? System training, IT trainings. These are provided by the franchisor. Okay. Now we are, that's a 6 MCQ question, the question of 1. Now we're going to question of 1, part B, define the term delegation. Usually define questions, we don't need to use any application, just here 1, define the term delegation. Define the term delegation. Delegation, you know, in human resource management, we talk about one of non-financial method of motivation is delegation. In organization structure also, we can see some delegations happening in the some organization structures. Delegation is giving power to someone. You are sharing the power with your subordinate, called delegation. So let's go to the marking scheme answer. The delegation definition is provided here. The correct definition of delegation: passing of responsibility to a subordinate. The passing of a responsibility to a subordinate called delegation. So it's AO1. AO1 means knowledge. Assessment objective 1 stands for knowledge, that they are checking knowledge only, no application, 1 mark, 1 sentence. So what is the point? Passing of responsibility to a subordinate. Word subordinate must be there. Passing responsibility, passing some kind of a, like, you know, duty to a subordinate. That's called delegation. Right. The next definition question, part C. Define the term venture capital. Venture capitals we can find out from the section like financial management section, external source of funding, venture capital. Venture capital is a person who actually gives the money when the business to start up, or in the early stage of startup stage, they are giving the money. That's a person called venture capitalist. The venture capitalist definition is, you can see in the market scheme, So venture capital is a type of risk capital available to start up a business. Venture capital is a type of risk capital available to start up a business. Right. So let's go to the question number 1, part D from marking scheme itself. We can see state one reason why next might be use cost plus pricing. Right. So this question carries 1 mark, and you can see they are checking the assessment objective 2. Assessment objective 2 means application. Therefore, when you're writing this question, to be very careful to use the application, because if you doesn't write any contextualized answer, you're not getting in that 1 mark. You're losing that 1 mark. Right? In my experience, I know a lot of students are finding difficulty and challenging of writing this state question, even though it carries 1 mark. The use of knowledge, use of application is very minimum for some students. You have to use the example always, this kind of a question. Always, I'm telling my students, like, use examples from the case study for this. Without example, 0 marks. For example, they're asking one reason why next, the fashion retailer, they use cost plus pricing. The marking scheme, they award 1 mark for a valid reason of using cost plus pricing in the context of the business. In the context of the business. That means without context, no marks. Right? They're giving 2 possible answers. Next, may use this method as the markup can be different in the 70 countries it operates or sells in. True, no? So what is the reason? Because they can use different markups in different countries. How many countries? 70 countries. So that's the application, 70 countries, because next operate in the 70 countries. If you just say, without saying just countries and next, that also wrong, because why? Using the word next is not an application. Some students come from like asking and arguing, sir, I wrote the name of the case study. No, if you write the name of the case study, we are not recognizing it as application. Why? It is very low basic application, right? For example, without writing next, I can write McDonald. So then what happens? Then it apply to McDonald. That is not correct. Should be very specific with the application. So you can use, okay, 70 different countries. So they have 70 different markups. They can use different percentage in different countries. Right? So therefore, next may we use this method as the markup can be different in 70 countries. Second part, you can see another reason. Next may use cost plus pricing to ensure that profit is made on each dress sold. Next may use cost plus pricing to ensure that profit is made on each dress sold. So this is the application, dress sold. Right? If you just say each product sold, 0 marks. Why? No application. But here we have application. What's the application? Dress sold. Dress. They are selling dress. Next is a name only, right? We say McDonald can ensure cost plus pricing by made on each burger sold. So McDonald is burger. For next is dresses. As you can see, they can ensure, they can guarantee the profit. It's one advantage of cost plus pricing. You can guarantee the profit margin, right? Made on each dress sold. And they say accept any other appropriate responses also. You can see it is easy to calculate. It ensure the profit margin. It is easy to calculate the profit for their dresses. Correct. You say word like 70 countries, dresses sold, like that you can easily get the marks for that kind of question. After 2 state questions, cost plus pricing, define and state question, we are going to the question number 1, part E, calculation question. Calculation questions. Calculation question, we are giving a normal space we are providing, and at the end we are giving a space to write your answer in pound sign or percentage sign or something. So look at the question. Next predicts that its 727 million pound sales will grow by 3.2% in next year. Calculate the predicted sales for the next year. You are advised to show your working. This is the basic mathematics skills, sales forecasting. What you have to do, extrapolate, like use the percentage given and find the increase of percentage. What is the predicted sales for next year? So you have to inflate this 727 multiplied by 3.2% and add the value. So you can easily, what can do 1 point, you can see add something 103.2%. 100 plus 3.2%, 103.2%, you can multiply 727, you can get the answer. So, or you can do 727 multiplied by 3.2%, that's sales growth, and add the 3.2% to 727 million. Then you can find out the predicted sales value and write down the value here. So I'll show you the workings. In this kind of questions, without working, with or without working, if you have the correct answer, so Edexcel always advise us to give the marks 2 marks. Even A-levels also same. So because the calculations you can do using your calculators, our brain. So this is the way 727 million multiplied by 1.032, or we can see similar to 103.2%. Right? We can write in the decimal line 1 plus growth rate. 3.2% is 0.32. So the answer is 750 million 264,000. 750 million 264,000 pounds. You have to write that pound sign. The pound sign is given in the answer. So this answer is AO2, basically application-based question, because you apply the given values to the formula. Sales forecasting. So next year, by inflating this, by increasing this by 3.2%, 727 million becomes 750 million 264,000. Award 1 mark for correctly substituting numbers into formula, and award full mark for the correct numerical answer without working. Okay, now after 2 mark question, part E, we're going to explain question. Explain questions always stand for AO1, knowledge based question. So no need to use application. So some students are using application with this kind of questions also, but always I thoroughly recommend you don't need to use application. You can just use general business words, one correct sentence, and then develop it, 1 point, and then develop it. So here they're asking one disadvantage for a business that does not achieve its predicted growth. So explain one disadvantage. So mention one disadvantage and make 2 development points of that disadvantage. It's kind of like a general knowledge they're asking. What kind of disadvantage is there for a business that does not achieve their predicted growth, predicted objective? Okay? They can say then the shareholders will be dissatisfied. The company can't reach their desired targets, the sales growth. As a result, they can expand their business as they predicted. Right? Sometimes they couldn't able to achieve some kind of a big order. Sometimes loss for the owners will expect. So this is the main, like motive. You can write very generic answers, but make one disadvantage and do not write multiple disadvantage. Look at this answer. Explain one disadvantage for a business that does not achieve the predicted growth. AO1, 3 marks. AO1 is assessment objective 1, which is knowledge. Knowledge only, general knowledge you're asking, right? So award 1 mark for the identification of one disadvantage for a business that does not achieve its predicted growth, plus 2 further marks for explaining the reason, for maximum 3 marks. They're giving 2 model answers for 2 situations. The first answer is, look at that, shareholders may be very unhappy. Shareholders will upset, unhappy. That's 1 point. So what will happen as a result of that? Because of if the business does not reach its predicted growth, they may not receive dividends. They may not receive dividends. And this may mean that they invest in other businesses. 3 sentences interrelated. Shareholders will be unhappy because the business does not make money, means they will not get any dividends. Therefore, they will invest in somewhere else. Because this will lead to therefore. Right? Because of this, you can see shareholders will be unhappy. This will lead to reduce their dividend payments. As a result, therefore, they will invest in somewhere else. Because another situation, another answer, if the business does not achieve its predicted growth, it may not be able to expand. This means that it may lose some market share as customers could go elsewhere. Okay, look at the point here. One disadvantage is they may not be able to expand. They will not be able to expand because the growth rate, desired growth rate, they didn't expect it, so they haven't achieved. So predicted growth may not be expand. As a result, customers may be, you are losing some customers. As a result, customers could go elsewhere. This is customer's point of view. Lack of growth will lose the customers, and lack of growth will lose the shareholders also. This is the 2 points they're expecting. Only have to write 1 point out of that. There are so many other responses can be write like that, but always make sure, right, stick to 1 point and then develop that point, right? Not before the answers, they that list 3 disadvantages with no explanation will get 1 mark only. Always keep in mind, some people can write multiple points in a once explained question by thinking, okay, they will give you me more marks. No, it's a disadvantage for you to write multiple points. Stick to 1 point and develop that point, then only you can get 3 out of 3. Very, very careful, 3 markers always. Every question, I mean, take it very seriously when you're doing in your examinations, because it's very important to get every marks as possible. Right. We are going to question number 1, part G, the last question of the paper, question number 1. Analyze question, a 6 marker. Analyze the benefits to Next of training all its employees. So Next is, again, I'm repeating, this is a clothing manufacturer, clothing retailer, and operating for 70 countries with 43,000 workforce. The benefits of training its employees. Then what are the benefits of training? That will increase their motivation level, increase the customer satisfaction, right? They reduce the wastage, they will reduce the inefficiencies. So there are so many points. We'll see how to organize these points into a 6-marker answer. When you're writing a 6-marker, we are normally giving application 3 marks, AO2, and analysis 3 marks, AO3, right? So always 3 marks are divided like that. Application 2 marks, application AO2 3 marks, and analysis AO3 3 marks. So you have to write at least 2 benefits, right? Look at the application points and analysis points together. If Next trained its all employees, then they are trained a consistent fashion so that they can operate in the same way across 70 countries. They can operate in the same way across 70 countries. You can see application here. Employees, 70 countries is the application here. Then they can consistent in fashion. There's another word, the application, consistent in fashion, because they are doing fashion industry. 70 different countries. This will lead to, or this means that all employees work to the same standard set by Next, right? So uniformity will increase. Every organization, every country, they're operating in the same way because of the consistency is ensured. Moreover, employees attending these training sessions will gain customer service skills they can use in the next shops, right? Employees attending these training sessions will gain customer service skills, right? And they can use in the next shops. Customer service will improve, as I told you, customer satisfaction will improve. What is application here? They are attend this training session will gain customer service skills when they use in the next shops, shopping malls. As a result, these new customer service skills allow employees to improve their sales techniques, and they could lead to an increase in sales for the Next. You can see this leads to increase the sales technique. Therefore, this would lead to increase their clothing sales for the Next. This is how we have to write a 6-marker question. 6-mark question, normally when you're marking, we are reading your full answer and your level, we are giving some levels to your points. Application, we are giving level 1 or 2 or 3. And analysis also, we are going to give you level 1 or 2 or 3. If you get both application analysis level 3 and level 3, then only you are giving like a 5 or 6 marks will be awarded like that. That means you have to be write detailed application of knowledge and understanding of the business concept and issues with the contextualized throughout the answer. And also analysis means deconstruct this business information and know issues, finding detailed interconnected points with logical chain of reasoning. So always this kind of a question, you can use the application and the analysis point. That means BLT point system. I think the BLT structure, you know, the bacon, lettuce, tomato, like, no? Because this will leads to, and therefore this kind of structures you can use. 2 BLT point is enough for 6 marker. Right? 2 BLT points enough for 6 markers. So that is the end of the question number 1 of the large business paper. Right? You can see the page, end of the question number 1, which carries 20 marks. So today, in this first session, we discuss about the large business paper of the business studies, IGCSE business 2021 June paper 2, investigating large business. So I hope you enjoyed the session. In my next session, we'll do the question number 2 and other questions. I invite everyone to watch my videos and everything. You can actually ask any question. You can use the comment section. So I'm always, if possible, I'm giving always my help for you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.